What is up, guys? I'm ExxotikGaming, and today I am back with another Pixel Gun 3D video, and today's video is yet again another weapon review. As you guys can see from the title, today's weapon review is on the very interesting backup weapon by the name of the Mr. Deejay UP2. I have to use the word interesting when describing this weapon because this is the only weapon of its kind currently in Pixel Gun 3D. This is the only weapon which sort of plays music when you use it in a match. This is the picture-perfect weapon of what a DJ would use in Pixel Gun 3D, and despite this weapon having a 16 lethality and an area damage, just like weapons like the Fire Orb UP2 and the Storm Hammer, the main purpose of the Mr. Deejay UP2 is not actually for legit gameplay. What you can use this weapon in is the Sandbox game mode, and I'll show you guys about 1 minute in this game mode of basically what you do with this weapon, and then I will show you guys some actual gameplay because I know you guys want to see some actual gameplay with this weapon. So, in the Sandbox game mode, it's pretty simple. All you basically use this weapon for is just basically a beatbox. I can guarantee you guys 100% I will never ever use this weapon in Sandbox. I probably will never ever be in Sandbox, but as you guys can see here, this is pretty much all you do. You just play this weapon around next to some people that you want to dance around with, and that's all you do. It says, is dancing with cute girl, cool bro. So, let's go into an actual gameplay now, and I'll show you guys how well this weapon performs in close range, because despite this weapon being in the backup section, it actually is another melee weapon. So, you're going to have to use this weapon in maps like Infected Prison and Silent School and anything that is very close range if you really want to get some decent gameplay with it. So, hopefully we will find a very close range weapon, or match, here, and I'll show you guys some gameplay in that match. There's one in Silent School. Unfortunately, there's only 3 out of 10 people. It's always better to join a match when there's a pretty good amount of people, just because you don't really want to run around for at least 2 minutes at a time trying to find somebody. You want to be able to always find people in a match. So that's why I always try to find matches where there are a lot of people in those matches. So, unfortunately, it doesn't really look like there's any match that has a lot of people. So, we're going to go to the next best thing and go into this one right here on Silent School. It has 4 out of 10 people. That's not that bad. I'll be the 5th player, and I'll show you guys how well you can take people out with this weapon. It's a decent gun. There's no really big purpose as to why you should get this. It's just another melee weapon. My personal opinion is you should get something like the Fire Orb, because the Fire Orb actually goes in the melee section and it makes sense for something like that. This just clogs up space, and it's not really a necessary weapon. But you can still kill people, as you guys can see right there. It did take quite a few shots, some shots before before I died, and then some shots there. But you can still get kills with this weapon, which that is the important part. As you guys can see here, you're still able to take people who have the Storm Hammer out, so that's a very important thing. And you know, it's quite a few shots to take an Adamant Armored player out. I wouldn't recommend going into a match, obviously, with this weapon if you are actually trying to attempt to take Adamant Armored players out, just because it's most likely not going to be the best for you. But you can still take people out, as you guys can see right here. My overall opinion with this weapon is it's just a cool thing to have, you know, having a weapon that plays music and is what a DJ would use, but it's not a necessity. There are weapons in Pixel Gun 3D which are for sure necessities. Here's an Adamant Armored player. I think it's 2 or 3 shots to an Adamant Armored player, so it's not that bad. But then again, there are weapons like the Fire Orb and the Storm Hammer, and having another melee weapon in your Pixel Gun 3D just clogs up space. There are so many better backup weapons that you can have that actually shoot instead of just being a melee weapon in Pixel Gun 3D. That's my mentality with this weapon. Maybe you guys have different mentalities and you actually really like this weapon, and that's perfectly fine. You know, I can see how a lot of people would really like this weapon because, I mean, it's unique. It's very, very unique. There are no weapons like it, and that is why probably a lot of you guys like the Mr. Deejay UP2. It doesn't look half bad when you see this in first-person mode, so that's another plus. It's, you know, what you could possibly do for a pixelated DJ's thing here, a portable DJ's thing, as if. Not entirely sure how music beats can kill people. I guess the DJ is not really the best music producer in the world, that's for sure, but it's still decent nonetheless. I have 740 points here despite me having less armor than every other player in this match here. Everybody has adamant armor and I'm still able to take these people out, so that's pretty cool. That's a plus. Let's see actually how many. I'm second place. So I'm second place despite having less armor than each and every one of these people besides that guy. It's a one-shot against that guy, so it's pretty powerful if you are some of the lower levels. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much damage you can do for like the UP1 and the UP0 version of this, but if you are a higher level and you do plan on getting this weapon, I obviously would recommend you to get the full UP2 version of this gun, or weapon I should say. I keep saying gun, just because I'm in the backup section, but it's not a gun. It's not a gun. It's the only weapon that doesn't really correctly fit in its section, so I'm not entirely sure why Really Soft decided to do that with this. As you guys can see, one shot against people who have no armor whatsoever, so if you can manage to find matches where people have no armor whatsoever, you're set with this weapon. You can get some really good gameplay with this thing, and it'll turn into one of the better melee weapons if you can manage to find a match where not everybody has adamant armor. As you guys can see, though, I do have some difficulties taking people like this guy out just because, you know, they have such a much better advantage with actual weapons that shoot. And, you know, that's just something you have to deal with when using a weapon that's not a melee weapon because, you know, you don't have to really get up and close and personal with those weapons. With this thing, you have to get very up close and personal, and because of that, you're going to die a lot. So keep that in mind when using this weapon. If you guys do plan on getting it, you're going to die a lot with it. You're not going to get monster kills with this thing like you would with other things. I'm not entirely sure if this weapon works in Knife Party. I would imagine not so, just because it isn't a melee weapon, but maybe it does, and then maybe that's another advantage. You could have two different melee weapons at the same time in Knife Party. Maybe using the Mr. Deejay UP2 for some of the lower armor level players, and then something like the Tiger or the Pet, or not the Pet Dragon. Why was I saying the Pet Dragon? The Stormhammer for some of the adamant armored level players. So, it's a semi-decent weapon. As you guys can see, I'm having difficulties taking a lot of people out. I can get double kills, but then I die usually. That's about the best you're gonna get. Maybe a couple of triple kills, ultra kills sometimes, but overall, it's not really a worthwhile weapon for you guys to get. I'm also basing this solely off of if you should get this based off of gameplay. No, I don't know. Maybe you're one of those players that really likes the Sandbox game mode, and then in that case, hey, get this thing just because, you know, if you want to dance with people, I'm not entirely sure why you would want to do that, then, you know, this is one of those weapons that performs well in the Sandbox game mode. Just like some of the other things like the flower, whatever the heck it's called, bouquet, and other things like that, they're really meant more for the Sandbox game modes and not really for actual gameplay. But, you know, you can still get this in decent gameplay in the regular thing, so that's a plus. It's definitely a big plus for that. So, you know, if you were basing this off of solely if it actually kills people, it does. It kills adamant armored players. As you guys can see, I'm still able to kill these people. And it's somewhat difficult to take the people with adamant armor out. So, if you are some of the lower level players and you don't really encounter adamant armor, then this is probably a good weapon for you just because it's, I would imagine, is not as expensive as the Stormhammer, and it's gonna be a weapon where you're gonna get some much more interesting gameplay than you would with, say, just, you know, a standard knife. Because I have to say, I'm getting much more interesting gameplay with this thing than I would with, say, the Fire Demon or this Tiger here, just because they're just more standard melee weapons. And this is a very interesting thing. It's a DJ's little beat thing. It's like a... It's interesting. It's very interesting. It has a decent area damage as well, so you don't really have to directly hit the enemy player, but it's not that big of an area damage, so you have to be very close to somebody to actually kill them. But that's another important feature with this weapon. You don't really have to directly hit an enemy player to kill them. You have to be pretty close to them, and that area damage will follow through and kill the person who you are actually trying to get. As you guys can see here, against the Stormhammer, it's not going to win. weapons. So if you see somebody with the storm hammer, my best advice is to avoid them, because you're just not going to be able to take the person with the storm hammer out. Or if you're extremely lucky, you may be able to take them out, but don't keep your hopes up if you do join a match where that person has the storm hammer. It's probably not going to work out in your favor. I don't honestly have much else I need to say about the Mr. Deejay UP2 other than the facts that I just said. If you want a weapon that's cool for Sandbox game mode, then hey, get this thing. If you want something that will provide you with a very big challenge, where you will actually probably die a lot, but then again, get some decent kills, then you might want to consider this thing if you have some spare gems lying around. But if you have a very tight budget and you only want the best of the best in your weapons for Pixel Gun 3D, you can do without this. This is not a necessity, and my best advice is to avoid getting this weapon at all costs. Other than that, guys, I really hope you guys did enjoy this review on the Mr. Deejay UP2. If you guys did, then be sure to hit that like button, comment, favorite, and subscribe to my channel for more Pixel Gun 3D videos. This is officially the 100th weapon review that I've done on my channel. The other one, this is technically number 101 on the playlist, but I had gotten my Exterminator UP2 review deleted a while back, and I had to re-upload that. So this is technically my 100th weapon review that I have done on my channel. So be sure to check out all 99 others of my weapon reviews. I can guarantee you'll have hours and hours and hours of fun watching each and every one of them. You guys will have a complete list of pretty much everything you could need to know about every single weapon in Pixel Gun 3D. Also, be sure to check out my other series I do on my channel. I do series where I do some just random commentaries on Pixel Gun 3D videos, which I will hopefully start up soon just after I do a couple more weapon reviews. I do a gun comparison series, which as well I will be doing again after I finish a couple of these weapon reviews, and I do a glitch tutorial series, a 1v1 series, a deadly game series, a campaign let's play series, and many, many more. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and let's go get one last kill here. I'm probably going to die to this person unless he can't really aim, and then in that case, well, I'm able to take him out. Okay, double kill, not bad. Maybe can get a triple kill. Alright, I'll take it. Quadruple kill, multi-kill. Alright, well, that sounds like a good way to end the video. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode.